right, everyone, we're back for part 2. Ready? On cameras. Turn the cameras on. We're going to do 2 more percentage problems, and then we're going to go to area. Okay? Cameras. Arlene, camera, Denise, Ed, Joelle, Tina, Daniela. Turn your cameras on, please. All right, YouTubers, what's up? We're back. All right. So here's the next question. Arlene, Denise, Ed, Daniela, turn your cameras on. And the next question is, a property grosses $450,000, nets $350,000, has a capitalization rate of 9%, and the prevailing GRM or gross rent multiplier is 8. All right. So these are 2 variations of the question. One could be A, they're asking you what's the property value using the GRM, or B, they could be asking you what is the property value using the net income capitalization approach. So in the state exam, usually if they have a question, they'll give you one number only, right? So they can give you the gross, they can give you the net, but then they'll either give you the cap rates or they'll give you a GRM. So one or the other. All right, so let's start with a GRM. Okay. All right, Cheryl says, I'm back. All right. So the property grosses 450. This is the gross rent. $450,000. Is that what it says? Yes. Net rent equals $350. Then it says that the cap rate is 9%, while the GRM is 8. All right. They want to know the value using one or the other. So property value. Now, before you guys start doing math, okay, some people just go straight at calculations. Focus, stay here with me for a second, and then you can do your math, right? If they're asking you, for instance, if the question was, let's say they gave you all this info. If the question was based on the cap rate, we're going to do the cap rate first, which is the most common one on the state exam. Okay? If the question was based on the cap rate, one of the things you got to remember is that the number you need is the NOI for the cap rate. NOI. So that means this number is not needed. Okay? If we're doing based on the cap rate, then GRM is not needed. We got 2 numbers. We just put it into the steering wheel. Simple. Right? All right. So by now, you guys should know how to do this. Go ahead. We got 2 numbers. There's the NOI, which is 350, and there's the cap rate, which is 9%. Lula says, can you explain that? What do you want me to explain exactly? You got 2 numbers. You want me to tell you how I got to the numbers? Is that it? Why did I eliminate the other numbers? Okay. I'll get to that in a second. Right now, I'll explain that in a second. Right now, focus on, I got the two numbers. We nailed it down to two numbers. Focus on that and give me the answer. We got two numbers. We have NOI, net operating income, right? And we have cap rate. Do not give me answers yet. Do not give me answers yet, because I did not ask for them. All right? And you guys are wrong, by the way. Do you think a property that brings $350,000 is worth $31,500? You think a property that brings $350,000 every year is only worth 31? Right? So these are things that where logic comes in. You need to look at the question, not just rush to answer, which happens a lot. HB, can you give me your name, because I only see HB and I like to address people by the name. But anyway, so you are correct, but for you guys here on Zoom, and for everybody, whoever watches this today or later, for everybody, we got to go by logic too. We're trying to figure out the value of a property. It brings $350,000 a year. Will it be worth only $31,500 as you guys wrote? Guys, don't give me answers yet. Francesca, you're fired. That's it. You're done. You're off with the head. Gone. I did not ask for answers. Hitesh, let me know if I said your name right. Hitesh. I don't think it's Hitesh. I think it's Hitesh. Let me know if it's right. And Jen just says, you know what? Let me put an extra couple of zeros there and it'll make sense. I'll pretend I didn't see it. It's okay, Francesca. I said it right? All right, cool. Your last name is not Bat, is it? B. Two of my best friends, they are their last names are ATT. Ed just puts an answer. I didn't ask for answers, right? You guys are so insubordinate. Follow simple instructions. Is everybody finished with the calculations? Is there anyone that didn't? You know? Okay. Drop the answers. Go. Those that are already answered, you don't have to answer again, okay? Francesca and Ed. Jen is dancing bachata again. What is the answer, guys? Good. So, Francesca, Ed, very good. Okay. Let me ask you, did you see why you made a mistake? See where the mistake was with the 31,000? Right? Good. Cool. So the answer is 3,888,888. So what did we do? First thing to remember, right, is going back to this. First thing to remember is that income always goes on top. Okay? First thing to remember, it's the cheat sheet that I gave you guys. Income always goes on top. And it's not any type of income. We need the NOI. So to explain to Lula, again, that part, why did I choose NOI versus anything else? When we're using the income approach, right, that's chapter 16 appraisals. When we're using the income approach, we have the potential gross income, which is like 100% occupied. Then we have to figure out the vacancies, right? So reduced to the vacancies and rent collection losses. And then we have to deduct expenses. And I kept on saying in chapter 16 that this was the most important of all, was the net. Because that's the true value of the property, is what I take home, the NOI. So the number that goes on top is always the net operating income. And now let's think about logic. If I told you that on top it's always part, right? If on top is always part, let's look at what Ed and Francesca were doing. They gave me 31,500. Do you think the value? No, not Francesca. I'm sorry. You're don't get offended. Easy, Francesca. You're already. It was Ed and Nadia. I'm sorry. You're right. I almost threw something at the camera. You guys did not see that, right? Like it wasn't me. True. Apology accepted. Anyway, so it was Ed and Nadia. You guys put $31,000. Do you think the value of a property would be lesser than the income? Does it make sense? So whatever we receive every year gives value to the property. Whatever we collect every year gives value to the property. So that's the smaller portion. That's what goes in parts always. So it's always income divided by value gives us the rate, or income divided by rate equals the value. So going back here, what income do we have, right? We need to figure out value. So even if you guys did not know, the question is value. So even if you guys don't know the formulas, you have no idea what the formula is, the question is value. Where does value go? Right here, always. Okay? Then we have rate, which is 9%. Where does rate go? Right here. There's only one blank spot to fill in, which is NOI. And that's 350,000. If we have a number on top and we have a number on the bottom, what do? We divide. Okay? So when you do that, 350,000 divided by 9%, the answer is going to be 3,888,888. This is the value of the property using the income approach. All right? So again, before you answer, and guys, I'm not saying this when I say logic. I'm not saying this for you guys to have common sense of things. Well, you should, but I understand how the questions are tricky. So when I say logic, I'm not trying to bring you guys down like, oh my God, you didn't see this, it doesn't make sense. It's not what I'm trying to do. Is I know what goes through your minds during the exam, and I'm trying to make sure. I'll explain right now. So I'm trying to make sure you guys understand where to put things, right? And then understand also, if this number is a big number, how can the value be a small number? Something is wrong in your math. And the problem is, it might be one of the answers. That 31,500 could be one of the answers, and you would have fallen for it. Okay? That's why from day one, I've been tricking you guys and getting you guys ready for the exam, because they're always tricky. All right? So Lula's asking why up here and not down here. Okay? Because here, Lula, it's always the value of the property. So let's go here. At the bottom, there's always value. And that's what the question is asking. The question asks you, let's go here. They're asking, what is the property value? Right? The other thing you need to remember is, again, the income. These are incomes. Okay? And an income will always be less, right? Income will always be less than the property value. But sometimes a number up here could be more, right? A number up here, not income, could be more. And I'll explain that in a different example. But again, it's key you understand how to fill in the blanks. Because if you understand what I did right now, by showing you this and all these different variations, what I did right now was literally tell you, sorry. Literally, I just told you that this little thing here removes all the formulas. Because the formula for income approach, is IRV or IVR, income divided by value equals rate, income divided by rate equals value, value times rate equals income. Now you can either remember the formulas, or, as I showed you guys, remember how to fill in the blanks. Which one do you think it's easier? Remember formulas? Let's look at taxation. Taxation, for instance, or even insurance, is per $100, let's say. So the property value is $100,000. It's taxed at $3 per every 100, right? So what is the tax bill? Right? The formula would be, so I'm just giving you guys an example real quick of how this eliminates everything. So it works for the IRV formula. It works for percentages, commission, right? Sales price questions, right? It works for taxation. It works for insurance. Pretty much everything that has a rate or a percentage attached to it. That's what this works for, right? You guys want to figure out how much the tip is, how to calculate the tip when you go to the restaurant? Boom, you want to give 20%? Easy. 20%. Here's the bill, right? That's it. What is 20% of that? 20. Done. Right? Every time you want to figure out a percentage, in top of your head, if you guys memorize this, there's no need to draw it. You got to know. This is the value of the question that's being asked. It goes always at the bottom left. The percentage goes always on the bottom right. I'm trying to figure out the slice of pizza that I'm taking, right? Pizza slice. Right? I got to figure out the slice of pizza that I'm taking, right? Boom. I got the pizza slice. I figure out how much the value is. What is that percentage? Well, pizza divided by the whole value, the pizza slice divided by the whole pizza. That's the rate. So again, once you guys figure out how to master this, not that hard. Once you figure out how to master this, then you don't need any formulas. The other thing you need to remember is, again, what the question is asking. Once you guys figure out what the question is asking, that's why I'm going slow. That's why I break it down. That's why I don't want you guys to start answering, like doing the math, as I'm still explaining. Then you get lost, right? That's the key. I do this. I promise to you guys that this is the way I do every single day with every single question I have. I put just in this format. I extract everything, figure out what I need, what I don't need. Okay, look right here, the rent. I figure out what they were asking and I turn it into numbers, right? And simplify it. Here again. You guys got it? So this is the key. It's to extract, because sometimes they give us so much to read, that you go back to the first line of the question and then you're like, oh, I'm exhausted already with the math, right? This is why you leave it to the end. This is why you extract everything the way I do. It'll help you, I'm telling you. Is this the answer for question B? Oh, so here? Yeah, we did this one. Because they asked for the net income capitalization, the NOI. Yeah, so that's answer for B. For the GRM, or gross rent multiplier, and again, this is all chapter 16, by the way. Appraisals, okay? That's the income approach on appraisals. The GRM means gross rent multiplier. Gross rent multiplier. So now, do we need this number? No, because we're using the gross rent. So let's remove this number is not needed. This is the number we need because it's based on the gross rent. And what is the gross rent multiplier? 8. That's what it is. So these are the two numbers we need. Okay? And it already says it all. Multiplier. It already says it all. Multiplier. So in this one, now, because it's not a percentage, this will not work. So, all right. So if they're asking for the gross rent multiplier, we don't need the net rent, and we don't need the cap rates. They're asking for the gross rent multiplier, so we only use gross rent. That was in the question. It says gross rent. Now, as the name says, it's a multiplier. So, calculators, what do we have to do? Give it a try and let me know. A multiplier, what do we have to do? Do not add, not answer. Jessica, not answer. Warnings. Let me zoom in. Our numbers, 450,000. GRM is 8. Using the GRM formula, how much is this property worth? This question. All right, for the 5 people watching on YouTube, and for you Zoomers here, go ahead, give me the answer. Somebody got an extra number. Somebody got one less number. Right? Somebody got 2 less numbers. Jen, why are you dancing the bachata? You're dancing too much bachata right now. So you don't, that's not on this one. There's no percentage here. All right, the correct answer is $450,000 gross rent times the GRM, or gross rent multiplier, which is 8. That equals 3,600,000. This is the value of the property. The gross rent multiplier strategy is as simple as this. There's a multiplier for a reason. You multiply by 8. The answer is 3.6 million. Okay? Good? All right, great. So, guys, if you're having difficulty with the income approach, chapter 16, I have a video on YouTube. So search income approach, or NOI, okay? And you have a video just on that, okay? Make sure you go through it. Most of you got the answer correctly. Some of you just have extra zeros or less zeros, which is okay as well. It's normal. You got to pay attention to what is being asked and what you're doing. If you have questions, right? So I'm going to skip because now I'm going to go into area real quick. But if you have questions, guys, always reach out to me. I'll answer any math question. If you're in the group chat, in the WhatsApp group chat for the school, you can always post questions there. There's always somebody willing to help you understand those questions, okay? So definitely go there. Joel, how can I find a YouTube playlist of all the classes? So there's 2 ways. In the student portal, all the classes are there in order per chapter. Second option is on YouTube. Once you search for New Direction School, right at the entrance of New Direction School, you're going to have playlists. That's it. But once you search for New Direction School, make sure you subscribe to it. Make sure you like the videos. It helps me out so I can help more people. It broadcasts to more people searching for this. But once you subscribe, you'll get the alerts. If you don't subscribe, it's fine. Just go to playlists within the channel. You have all the chapters there in order, well, in the playlists. And then there's another set of videos that I'm constantly adding to it. Still need to upload a few. Are explanation videos. Not the class, it's explanation videos. So something specific that somebody asked and said, hey, Bruno, could you make a video about it? And right? We have a couple of videos there. Not many. I have more to be uploaded, but definitely go there. All right? So now we're going to go into area. So area, if you guys go back to the cheat sheets, okay, have your area. And this is the area of a rectangle. As I mentioned earlier, area, we're going to use the inside number, and we always divide by the outside number. So if they gave you the area and they gave you the width, right, then area divides by the width to figure out length. If they give you the area and they give you length, then area divides by the length to give you the width. And it's as simple as that. Okay. So the formula is right here, all the variations of it. You can either remember the formulas or remember what to do here. But it's width times length equals area. Area divided by width equals length. Or area divided by length equals the width. So these are all the variations of the formula. Let me go here. There was a question regarding here. Okay. So right here, and guys, before you start calculating, again, some of you are like, let me go at it, let me go at it. Okay, wait, be patient. The first thing that I recommend always is to draw the area. So whenever there's a question, this one talks about the height and the base. First of all, let's translate this to width and length. Okay, because the formula is width times length equals area. Okay. The first figure given is always frontage. So this first number, this first number is always frontage or front foot. Okay. Frontage or front foot. Because if we're looking at the map, this is our property, right? Here is the road, right? So where is the front of the house or the lot? The front of the house is going to be this right here. So the first number they give you is the width. Second number is length, okay? So in this case, and I always recommend you draw, in this case it's 4, right? 4 feet by 36. Obviously, a really small house. We're talking about a room or something like that, just as an example, right? But the first figure was always the front. Second figure is always the length. So in this case, the question is, what is area? All right? I'm going to remove this so I don't have many things here. We remove the road. You guys already know the road is right here, right? What you need to remember is that outside numbers always multiply. So if they asked you, what is the area, because that's the question here, what is the area of a rectangle with a height or width of 4% and a base of 36%? What is the area? Calculators. Okay. Dash and Ruth already gave me the answer. Are you guys ready to give me the answer? All right, do it. Joel, you made a mistake. The answer is correct, but you made a mistake on something. You know what it is, right? So the answer, guys, is 144 square feet. Not feet, square feet. Ooh, you made a mistake again. Ah. All right. So Joel said feet only, and then to correct it, he puts a little apostrophe right there that says, hey, feet. All right. So it's squared feet. Why is it square feet? Because you're multiplying sides. So you have a square. Okay, so it's square feet. Area is always expressed in square feet. Area is always expressed in square feet. This is very important because you might have a question that talks about acreage. We're going to go over that in a second. Okay? You guys good, right? If they asked you guys, real quick, I'm going to give you the same concept as I did with the steering wheel. And Ruth says I was going to say that, but I was too lazy to add it. Yep. At least some people are honest. I was just lazy. Don't be lazy in the state exam, just saying. Or the school exam. All right, so let's say they asked you, so in this case, they asked you what the area was. What if they gave you the area and asked you what was the length? Okay? So they gave you the area is 144 square feet, and the width or the height is 4 feet. What do we have to do? We divide the inside number by the outside number. Simple. So it's 144 divided by 4. That means that the length is 36, right? And vice versa. That's it. All right. Ambulances. It's been really bad accidents. All right, so you guys got it? Oh yes, now you're correct. It's feet only. Joel, you're right. You guys good? That was easy, right? All right, cool. So let's go to the next one. What about a square with a side of 16? Oh, the square with a side of 16. Do not answer yet. Only when I ask. Oh, it's okay. It's okay for you to answer there. Totally fine. And you're right. Are you guys ready to answer? All right, drop the answers. What is the answer to this? The area of a square with a side of 16. What is the answer? Make sure you always draw before. Ooh. Make sure you always draw it. You don't add, you multiply. You only consider two sides, the width, the length. So if each side is 16, right? So I'll address Edith and Tina, right? If I was asking what was the total linear foot, right? Then that would be correct. The total linear foot. I'm asking what's the area. So for the area, we multiply width times length. Okay. Hitesh likes to be smart. Gives us 0.0059 acres. All right. He or she, I'm sorry. I don't know if Hitesh is male or female, so let me know. I don't want to insult anybody. So the answer is he. All right, Hitesh. Okay, so I was right. Thus the name, He-Tesh. Got it. Perfect. If it was female, it would be She-Tesh, right? Gotta try to make logic out of something. Ahmed, don't do that. No, don't shake your head. It's a joke. All right. Here comes my first lawsuit of 2021. Hitesh from YouTube. All right, so it's an area of a square. So let's look at this. What is the side? 16 feet. Right? So that means that all the sides are 16. What some of you did was add the sides. But the area of a square and the area of a rectangle, right, is always width times length. All you had to do is 16 times 16. And that would have been 256. So this is 256 square feet. Tina? With me? You are? Okay, good. It did. I know as I was speaking, you were like, oh, I know what I did wrong. Right? Even before I finished, you were already like, all right. Great. Did everybody get 256? Rose got 256. Perfect. Everybody else, you guys got it? 256, you're good? Okay, Edith understood. Tina, understood why? Okay, great. I'm serious. Either I lost Hitesh or I'm getting sued by Hitesh. If it's your first time, Hitesh, if it's your first time watching my videos, I'm always messing with somebody. So I apologize up front. I'm not a bully, right? I like to be made fun of as well, and I make fun of myself right away. Okay? I'm very transparent when I say things. Right? So get a phone call from my Indian family. You're gonna say, listen, stop slaughtering names, right? That's it. I'm not assuming or presuming that Hitesh is like this whole discrimination thing. That he's Indian, but right? My Indian family. I am. My background is, by the way, I have Indian as well. All right. He says all good. So Hitesh says all good. Not suing you. You're doing good work here. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. So Hitesh is not suing me, guys. We have on record that he's not suing me. On record. We win. Francesca's clapping. All right. Anyway, so we got that right. Let's go to the next one. Now, this one's a little bit more complicated. What is a trapezoid? Trapezoid with a height of 5 and the bases of 6 and 8. Now things got a little bit more complicated, right? Let's go here. Let's draw this. Jen, you're suing for what? Come on. Nobody's going to answer you at 2 o'clock in the morning. Just saying. Can't sue me. Cheryl says save the tape. Oh, it's recorded online. It's recording on my server and it's on YouTube. Jen's funny. I want my money back. All right. All right, let's go over trapezoid. Ready? What is a trapezoid? What measurements do we have? It says 5, 6, and 8. So this is 5 because it's the height. And then the bases are 6 and 8. And Rose says, I had this on the test. All right. Cool. How do we figure this one out? Before you guys move ahead and start calculating already. Ed just went like, it's me. Yeah, caught. All right. Here's the thing. Very simple. When you have an unknown shape, we divide this into 2 known shapes. That's it. 2 known shapes. So now you know the area of the rectangle, right? Multiply and add. All right. And then we're going to figure out the area of the triangle, right? So the area of the rectangle is, this is 5 and this is 6. So we have 2 sides. 5 by 6 is the rectangle. So let's calculate this separately. The rectangle is 5 by 6. If the numbers are outside, what do we do? Multiply. How much is 5 times 6? Listen, I'll do it with you guys. So it's easy. What was that? I don't know what that was. 5 times. Why did you have your hand like this then, Joel? No, you went like this. Okay. All right. Fine. So that means the area is 30 square feet. All right, great. So now, go to the triangle, since we haven't addressed triangles yet. How do we figure out the area of a triangle? Let me show you this right here. This is a triangle. What I want to show you guys is this. I closed the box. Now, this might not be the most conventional way to calculate triangles or anything like that, the area of triangles. But it's a way that I found to be simple for you guys to understand. In our line of business, we don't need to have complicated calculations. We don't need to be scientists. We don't need to be architects. We don't need to be anything that's extreme. We need to know the basics. So I try to make it as basic as possible. And the basic way that I found was close this. Most basic way, close it. And when you close, you have a square or a rectangle, depending on what's the shape of the triangle, right? You have a square or rectangle. So width times length is going to give you the area of the rectangle. But that's not what we have. We have a triangle, right? Let's look at this. I'm going to cut this down in the middle. Right? And I want you guys to pay attention to is what's here. If you guys pay attention, this is a mirror of this. It's the exact same shape, but it's the half that's missing, right? And if you guys go here to the other side, that is half of this. I mean, it's the mirror of this. So it's missing, right? So technically, what I find out, the way to explain to you guys is that, and I also do with that with my kids, by the way. But I try to explain, the teachers hate me. But what I try to explain is that every single triangle, doesn't matter how it is, how it's cut, every single triangle is half of a square or rectangle, because that's the only thing that's missing. It's the other half, right? And I'll prove it to you right now. Doesn't matter how the triangle is, right? This is not the same as that, right? Not the same. But if I close the box, this is no longer a triangle. It became a rectangle. And if I go to this line right here, and I bring it all the way down, again, look, exactly the same. Look, exactly the same. So the only thing that's missing is half of it. Half of the rectangle is missing. You guys got it? So one thing to remember is that the basic formula is width times length. This is the basic formula. So let me cover, how do I cover it? Right there. All right. So the basic formula is width times length equals area. But if we're calculating a triangle, the triangle is half of the square. So all you have to do is divide by 2. Whatever result you get, divide by 2. That's it. So when I go here, right, the first thing I need to do is close the box. All right? Now we know that the half is missing. Right? We're trying to fill the square or the rectangle, right? Half is missing. Now, we only have one number, which is 5. 5 in the front, 5 in the back. We only have one number. Now we're stuck. Here's what we need to do. And no, in the state exam, you guys cannot play with crayons or anything that's colorful. You cannot, right? So I'm just trying to make it simple so you guys remember what to do. But if you guys see it, the bottom is now the same on top, or the top is now the same as the bottom. So that means that this whole length would have been 8, correct? But we stopped at 6. What is missing? From 6 on is missing 2 feet. That's what's missing. So that means that here at the bottom, 2 feet as well. So now, do we have enough numbers to calculate the area? We do. The triangle now is, okay, the triangle now is 5 and 2. So all we have to do is the 5 times 2, which equals 10, right? And then because it's a triangle, it's a half a square, we divide by 2. So the area of this triangle is 5 square feet. Okay? Now, do you guys think that's the answer? That's not the answer. Because now the next step we need to do is rectangle plus triangle area, right? So the area, that equals 35 square feet. So this whole trapezoid, right? Because this is 30, this is 5. This whole trapezoid, the area of this room right here, the area of this room is 35 square feet. Questions? Any questions? All right, so I'll make it easier for you. Okay. Go ahead. What's the total area of this one? So I did not ask for answers, guys, yet. I appreciate those that are really fast. Okay. Well, I did say what's the answer, but for you guys to start doing. Calculated, I meant. Egyptian math teachers. Look, I know there's other ways. But even in Portugal, we do things a little different. But here we got to go step by step. Jen says, I found a new way to love math. All right. Good. Going to start bringing crayons and coloring. That's what it is. Hitesh gave me the answer already. Good. Are you guys ready? Okay. Some people no, some people yes, right? Daniela's like, I'm done with this. I can talk. Right? Right? In 3, 2, 1. All right, give me the answers. Daniela's just copying whatever I meant said. All right, cool. 9. What if he was wrong? All right, so we got Ahmed, Daniela, Denise, Hitesh, give me the answer. Cheryl, give me the answer. Arlene, okay. Okay, some of you forgot to divide by 2. Or you just close the box and it. This one's too complicated. Lula, you're only throwing numbers out there? Like, you give me 2 answers. Look, it's either 126 or 132. You pick one, right? I'm going to pick neither. You're too funny. Francesca, where's your answer? Waiting. Buddy gave you a break. You answered? Not to this one. Keep waiting. Wow. All right, guys. So let's figure this one out. Same thing. The best way to get through this is to cut it into known shapes. Rectangle, triangle. Okay? So if you cut into known shapes, how do you calculate the rectangle? Who can tell me what's the formula for this? Oh yeah, like I'm gonna be praying. I know, I got you. What is the formula for this? There's two outside numbers. We're trying to figure out the inside number. That's the question. We have two outside numbers. What are the outside numbers we have? That's width times length. Got it. But what numbers do we have? And some of you are confused to the answer, so let's go step by step. Rows always do the opposite. Always start with width, because the first figure given is always frontage or front foot, so that's the width. And Daniela, always first number 6, second number 16. So always do width times length. I'm telling you, when you go to the exam, it's very important that you have it in this way. Okay? So this equals 96 square feet. Great. That part was easy, right? Everybody got to this? Yes or no? Okay, great. That's because we cut into two parts, and the first part of the rectangle was 6 times 16, because whatever's on top is now at the bottom, is the same. The next step is figuring out the triangle. Okay? We're trying to figure out the area of the triangle. And the formula is width times length divided by 2. All right? So we're going to go here, and we only have one number. We only have 6, which goes right here. We need to figure out what's missing. Okay? So how do we figure out what's missing? Very important you guys learn how to close this box. Okay? So you close the box. Now we have another rectangle, right? But we still only have one number, which is 6. Okay? Now, since we closed the box, the length on the bottom is 20. Since it's closed, that means that on top it should have been 20 as well. Correct? So that's where we're going to have to figure it out. This would have been 20. What is missing between 20, if it was all the way to the end, right? If it was all the way to the end. What is missing between 20 and where we stopped, right? So between this spot and this spot, what is missing? Well, 20 minus the 16, that's where we stopped. That's where we got the line to, right? Is 4. Okay, so now we got two numbers for this new square. I'm sorry, rectangle. Got two numbers. We have the 6 and we have the 4. Right here, the formula is 6 times 4. All right? How much is 6 times 4? Right? But we don't have a rectangle. We have a triangle. So don't forget that you have to divide by 2. Okay? So that means 12 square feet. Now, we separated it once. We got to put it back together. We have two areas. So we have a rectangle. We're going to add the triangle. that equals 108 square feet. Whenever you have something that's uneven, separate them into known shapes. Make it easier for you. Calculate all the areas individually. That's all you have to do. Okay? Because you calculate individually, at the end you need to add them all together. Right? So if you had not done the division by 2, right, your answer would have been the 120. That's what was wrong. Okay? So triangle is half of a square always. Any questions here? Let me know where you got lost. If you did, I don't mind showing it again and again, because there is a question. I think as Cheryl or Rose, one of them said that question is in the state exam, something similar to that. Rose said it. So you can have that question in the exam. If you did not get it, let me know now. Forever. No, we're not getting married. Ella is getting further and further away from the camera. Pretty soon she's done with the class. All right. It says the 2 got me confused. What do you mean? Here? Dividing by 2? All right. So the whole thing of dividing by 2 is because, as I said, doesn't matter how you draw the triangle, what kind of angle it has, right? Doesn't matter what it is. Once you close this box, you have a whole thing, right? What you need to remember, see? What you need to remember is this. This is a mirror of that, right? Right there, this is a mirror of that. So that means that what's missing is this half right here, right? And what's missing is this half right here. So every triangle is half of a square. So in this way, you always have the width, you always have the length, right? So to figure out the area, it's width times length. Then divide by 2, because we're cutting. Cut is half. We're taking them out. Right? You have to take those pieces out. So you take half of the square or half of the rectangle. That's why we divide by 2. That's why we have 6 times 4. Right? So Arlene, you know how I got to 4, right? Or you want me to explain that part as well? You understand? Okay. So here, when we close the box, right? Let me just erase everything here. I'm going to take all these numbers out. All right, so here, if we close the box, the whole thing, Arlene, the whole thing would have been 6, right? Here would have been 6 as well, right? Because the front is the same as the back, right? Would have been 6 as well. And then on top will be the same as the bottom, because now it's a closed box, right? So if you look here, we stopped in the drawing, right? We stopped right here. What number do we have here? It's the 16. Right? That's where we stopped. But if you have the closed box, this whole thing here, if you have the closed box, right, that line right there, it would have been 20. So how much is missing in order to complete, to get all the way to the end? How much is missing? Well, if we got 16, right, then it's 20, like it would have been the whole thing, minus the 16, right? How much is left? What is missing? And this is how much is missing. 4. That's how much it was missing to complete the 20, the whole length. Okay? So that's how we got to the 4. And again, you guys remember, this is divided into 2 shapes. Okay. And these shapes are mirrors of each other. So what do we have here? We have 6, right? Zooming in. This triangle right here is 6 times 4, right? But because it's only half, right? It's only the blue part, not the orange part, right? Because it's only the blue part, this is half, right? So we need to divide it by 2. And that's how we got 6 times 4, right? Because it's the area of a rectangle right here, look. 6 times 4, which is 24. But then we need to divide by 2 to get to the 12 square feet. Got it? All right. Awesome. All right. Jen is asking, and we're done for today. Jen is asking, how many variations are there of the New Jersey State exam? I feel like I took 2 different tests. So, first of all, that's not the New Jersey portion. It's the general portion because this is math. Right? That's the first thing. The second thing, there's over 6 different exams of just the national portion of the exam. There's over 6 different exams. So that means that at least 80 questions, close to 80 questions are going to vary from exam to exam, right? Now, the cool thing is that within those 80 questions or 70 questions, let's say, right, within those questions, there's going to be questions that are very similar between one and the other. So even if the next exam, you don't have the same exact question, there's a similar style question. So it doesn't matter which exam you take, the questions are always going to be very, very similar. And this is why when I give my practice exam to you guys, especially Zoomers, right, part of the school, when I offer the practice exam to you, I do tell you guys test over and over and over again. At this moment, I have almost 700 questions, or 90, whatever it is, 700 questions in the question bank, and I'm adding more almost every day. So that means that once you're done with my test, if you fail the state, it only means one of 2 things. One is you never understood the questions and you're testing because you wanted to test. Or 2, you tried to memorize. Big mistake. Even though my questions are very similar to the state exam, very similar in style, right? Even though they're very similar, as close to the state exam as possible, right? And I take the state exam several times over the past years, right? The reason why I tell you to do that is because very similar. But if you try to memorize, don't expect those same questions and the same answers to the exam. You guys get it? So, oh, and by the way, I have to tell you this because today somebody sent me a Quizlet that says, hey, I found the questions, the exact questions on the state. And I said, okay. This person sends me the exact questions on Quizlet. Right. As I'm looking through those, the person that typed those questions also typed some answers. Okay. The reason why I ask you guys not to go outside my resources, what I have set up for you, is because just the very first question in that Quizlet was wrong. The very first one. And I kept on looking, right? Roughly 60% of that exam, whatever they put there on Quizlet, roughly 60% either did not have answers because they did not remember whatever the answers were, right? Or the answers were incorrect. Right? So be very careful what resources you guys are searching out there. Some of them either do not apply to what you're taking, or please do not pay for the PSI exams test. It's $19 or $20. You only get to test once. It doesn't even tell you what the answers were, what you had right, what you had wrong. When you do my exam, and when you use my Quizlet, it tells you there what's right or what's wrong. So do not go outside. You don't have to. There's so many resources for you. Just keep testing, right? And the people that are most successful from the class, is because they keep testing. I'm telling you right now. Very, very important. And also, if you're testing and you're confused, the other thing to do, like Mr. Rotor does all the time, right in the beginning of the class, ask questions. If you guys are not asking, how can I explain? I don't know where you have difficulty, right? It's key that you ask me questions. You guys got it? What's up? Great. So with that being said, guys, for YouTubers, I'm always going to be on because we have the morning class, but no more evening classes. For Zoomers, today it was your last day of class. For those of you that started day one, for those of you that completed 90% of the course, you're ready to take the exam on Saturday. So this Saturday at 10 a.m., you have the exam. I'll send you the link. It is a completely separate link for the exam. You have up to 4 hours to complete the exam. Yeah, not you. So pretty much. It's not rocket science. No, they're not gonna have questions that are ridiculous. But do test as much as you can. Right? Do test as much as you can. And even with the math portion, and ask me questions. All right. So, Ahmed, at the end of this chapter, there's a lot of questions that are not even in the state. It's based on the book. I already eliminated a few in the Quizlet. In the quiz at the end in the student portal. But again, test as much as you can. For those of you that haven't completed the hours yet, you can do so in the morning class. So if you have the time available to do in the morning, do it. If not, then you have to wait until the next class. And the next class, it is projected for the 7th, but I will let you know. It is projected for the 7th, okay? So next Monday. Tina, reach out to me separately and I'll let you know how many hours you have. All right, I can't do it right now, but if you reach out to me on WhatsApp, I will figure out how many hours you have. All right, let's see here on YouTube before I close. Hitesh says, I'm taking the test on Friday. Do you suggest I keep taking more tests? Yeah. Never stop testing. All right? Never stop testing. And I say this to everyone, even when you pass my school exam. From the school exam to the state exam, from school exam to state exam, never stop testing. That's another mistake. People get comfortable. Oh, I passed Bruno's exam. I passed the class exam. I'm good to go. Unless you're taking the state exam the next day, which you should as quick as possible. As soon as you finish mine, do the state as quick as possible. If it's taking you 3, 4, 5 days to go take the exam or more, keep on testing with my exam. Very, very important. Keeps your mind fresh, right? Keep on asking me questions because there's random questions showing up there. All right. And Jen says test is on Friday as well. So Jen, it's you and Hitesh. There you go. Denise, only the exact chapters. I think I already answered that to you, didn't I? Smart. Huh? Trying, hey, let me try to do this. All right. Hitesh, reach out to me, 908-418-8325. So just reach out to me whenever you can. All right, and I'll answer the second part of your question. Denise, you can't change my mind. Sorry. All right, guys. So I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys for the evening, whoever's ready. I'll see you guys on Saturday. So look out for an email from me saying, congratulations, you're eligible to take the exam. For those of you that did not have the hours yet or know that you missed, like Ed, you messaged me, Tina, want to know the hours, and Denise trying to be smart and bypass the whole thing. Just reach out to me. Reach out to me separately and I'll let you know. All right, guys? Have a great evening. And I'll see you tomorrow if you join us tomorrow. If not, then on Saturday. Thank you, guys.